All right, so welcome to Intuition to Income 2022. We are so happy you're here as always. And I just had the dear pleasure of connecting with Lisa before we came on. And she's just such an amazing soul doing so much amazing work on this planet. And it always feels so good to connect in that higher frequency of just light and love and purity and why we're really here to serve each other. And so I know in every cell of my being, when we're listening to our intuition, we are serving the greater good. And this show is very specifically intuition to income because when we come from that place of service, we naturally make more money. We naturally are taken care of. And so, my intention for this interview is to really help you tap into, turn on your intuition to feel your connection to it and to the universe within and around you. And Lisa, I call her the Akashic lady because that's just what she does. It's who she is, a part of who she is. She's so expansive, but it's her specialty. And she knows how to download these things. She honestly has helped me in my own personal life, like being ridiculously accurate in her reads. So I know anytime you get a reading with her, it's going to be clear. And she teaches you how to connect. So Lisa, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Abby. I love being here with you. It's always just such a joy. So thank you for having me back on and getting to share this old, ancient, and really new wisdom. So we're at such a cool time in history with new information coming in and the old still being really updated and upgraded. That's what I'm starting to see happening after working in the Akash for 25 years. There's new stuff coming in still and again and more. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. Lisa, I was kind of sharing with you before, it's like this sifting energy where I feel like the new energy is coming in and the old is being released. So to find our place of our center to actually be like, ooh, this higher frequency feels good. I'm going to rise with it. And I'm actually willing to let go, kind of like a sifter, letting go of the other stuff that I don't need. So I'm wondering if you have anything to share about that, because it takes courage sometimes to follow our intuition, right? We're like, we don't know exactly where that's going, but we know it feels good. We know it feels right. And we're trusting that knowing to guide us.
Right. I think one of the things that I keep hearing from the record keepers is also that we truly are all ascending with ease. And so, when we think back, I just kind of got this little download, like, do we ever really know what's going to happen? From day to day, we never, ever, ever really have known. We've assumed and we've done the same old thing and we've gotten into our rut or our habit. And that made us comfortable. But now really we are being asked to drop the old habits, to drop the feeling that we have to be in control to make it happen, because obviously not the truth. And really to just own that space of, I know I'm being divinely guided every day and I will walk that path each and every day. And it's actually very new and fresh and exciting if you can go with the excitement instead of the fear. So just drop the old fear and go, no, this is excitement. This is not fear. This is excitement.
Yeah.
And they really are very similar. They feel very similar, right? Sometimes we have that very intense, almost anxious feeling. But when we can go, I am so excited about whatever is coming, we're flipping that anxiety into excitement. And that's really what they're asking us to do, and to be open, looking for those new doors.
Yeah, I love that. The word that comes to me is surrender, Lise. Like, I imagine, like, I live really close to the ocean and just being in surrender of letting the ocean hold you, like you're just buoyantly floating. So surrender isn't giving up control. It's actually allowing yourself to be held, to trust the greater order of the universe that somehow, some way is all working out for us to expand our light. So I'm pretty excited to go float on the ocean. Are you?
Yeah.
We were in there the other day. Warm water.
I know, and it's really such a perfect image, because the water supports you if you relax into it. And obviously, if you're panicking, you can, sink straight down. So really what we're creating in this world, relaxing, opening, expanding, trusting,
Yeah.
surrendering is such a perfect word for all of that. And letting this new kind of um I prefer to actually call it fun, because I think that joy is sometimes almost too high of an energy to reach. It's like, I want to have fun along the way.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy all the people I'm with and all the things I get to do, and
Yeah.
create a really fun, joyful, abundant, right? And easy.
Yeah.
Not always ease, easy life. And I really believe that is truly what we are creating. It's a process. Again, it's never just, it's not going to be here tomorrow. It's going to be the process over these next years. I know, probably many years, probably for the rest of a lot of our lives.
Absolutely. Enjoying every moment. Like I'm really so present to you in this moment and feeling that, like it's such a gift. Like we were talking the other day, one of our dear neighbors, I feel like she's about ready to cross over into the light, right? And it just made us so aware of, like we have so much time, but can we truly appreciate each other now, right? And just be fully here in each and every moment. And so, when you become present to yourself, to nature, to all of life, you can feel your intuition, which is that soul part of you, that infinite spirit essence guiding you. And that creates the ease, that creates the joy, that creates the freedom, even, right? Because you're moving into that expanse. And within that, like, there's always a solution, right? Like I feel trapped if anybody's like, "Oh, you can or can't do that." I'm like, "No, there's always a solution. There's always a solution." Like, let's move into the expanse of it. And sometimes it comes in a way that you're not thinking, right? And it's like, "See, I told you, I knew there was an answer." So if everybody can just like open up to the solution, whatever might be troubling you, if you feel like you have a problem in your life right now, you're stuck or you're not sure, I invite you to drop into your intuition and ask the question, like, what's the solution? Like, where's the greater expanse here? Because you're just going to get lighter and lighter, like you are. So you might as well just fly because it's going to be easier than holding those bags.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And I had the kind of most uh mind altering actually image the other day for myself, because again, just, we're all having these human experiences of letting old things go,
Yeah.
often kind of waiting for that new door to open, right? Sometimes there's that energy of being in the void, which to me, the void is the whole quantum field just waiting for you to make a choice, right? It's like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, I could create anything from here. So that's phenomenal.
Wow. I love that.
And
Never thought of that, Lisa. I've always thought of the void as being something dark and heavy. And what you're saying, from what I'm understanding, is it's an expanse. It's what do you want to create with your free will? Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Wow.
So it's always been interesting. Of course, I teach a lot of people to access their Akashic records, and students will often say, "What do the records look like?" And I will often tell them, sometimes they actually look to me like a beautiful old stone library, kind of a small one with marble steps. And it's just mine, right? We each have our own library. And so I love that kind of beautiful old stone library look, and those white shiny marble steps and a big wooden carved door. But honestly, it's often the void. And I feel like, oh, I'm in the energy of infinite possibilities.
Wow. Wow.
And when someone voices a question, like when I'm doing a reading and they ask that question, the void manifests the answer.
Huh. Yeah,
And so,
the solution comes to you.
yes, yes. And so to me, the Akashic record is honestly the void.
Wow.
But I had an interesting experience the other day, because I was talking with the record keepers about creating something new, right? There's so much new energy coming in, and they're saying, new doors are opening, and sometimes we need to actually close an old door before a new door opens. And I often am used to kind of seeing the image maybe of a hallway with a bunch of doors,
Mhm.
right? And you kind of step out and you close that door, and
Yeah.
there's 10 more doors down that hall, and you see something pop open
Yeah.
down that hall. But this time it was interesting. I closed my eyes and I saw a big white dome,
Huh.
right? Just this huge dome.
Yeah.
And there was a little door in the dome, little wooden door. And I slammed that door closed and I took a breath, and the dome parted and opened. The whole dome opened,
Wow. That's so cool.
right? I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's the new door.
It opened. So you opened it like infinitely, right? So there wasn't even anything that you could bump up against. It was
Right.
all the way open. Yep.
Yeah.
I love
And
it.
that was so exciting, because really the message was that this is where we are all going. We are closing some of our old human doors. We're ending some of our relationships. Some of us are changing jobs or
Yeah.
starting a new career. We're closing a lot of these, letting go of a lot of our old stories, and in the process, of course, releasing some of our trauma patterns and old emotional pain so that we can step into the expanse. And now this image of the expanse is everything. There's no dome anymore. It's just the all. And I just felt like, wow, yahoo.
I know. I just feel so lifted. I feel like enlightened just listening, like my crown chakra's like lifting with you. I'm like, wait, there's no limit. There's just expanse. Like it's so freeing, right? It's like you're living like heaven on earth almost. Like there's no physical thing stopping you, right? That it's infinite energy. Um, and I'm like, I had the question when you were talking earlier, something about like the right choice, right? Like opening up to be like, okay, what's the best path? What's the highest path? Because to me, it's tuning into the intuition. The other day, I had an experience where I could see two paths, right? And it was like, here's your soul path, and here's if you get distracted, like you might say the ego, or like a darker path, right? So,
Right.
where you're listening to your soul in the light, it's a very different frequency than getting trapped in the lower frequencies. So, I'm wondering if there's anything you can share about soul consciousness to
Mm.
get where you just got of that infinite expanse and trusting your intuition to be that guide of your highest life, right? Because it's speaking to you, it's nudging, it's whispering.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Feeling
what
it
comes up to say, I know, I love that,
Yeah.
is this is, I would say, we're probably a great many of us are in this space of, again, it has a lot to do with letting go of all that is keeping us stuck, or keeping us in the ego, keeping us stuck in personality and control and fear and all of that energy. And often it's also related to collective patterns, collective conscious and unconscious beliefs.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's really connected to the people that we're around. And so I know it's never the easy answer, but one of the things that I love to teach my students is to just make sure you're clearing everyone out of your energy field so you can truly feel your soul path, so that you can kind of shift to that alignment when you get people out of your head and they stop talking
I
in your
love that.
telepathics, and
I love
people
that.
yanking you right
I
around.
love that.
Oh, this is what I feel like. And it's a beautiful, really kind of simple way to realign to who you are as that beautiful, infinite, wise soul.
I
And
love
so I love to teach people to kind of clear everyone out of their field, to become the sovereign
yeah.
of your body, energy field, and of your life, right? To really be the queen or the king of your life. And that doesn't have anything to do with control. It truly has to do with knowing exactly who you really are and why you really came. And we have many purposes. So it's not that one reason why you came, but really knowing in that bigger way
Yeah.
who you are and why you're here.
Wow, I love that. I feel the light coming in. I feel my own consciousness growing as you're talking, just because you're tuning into truth. We can all feel truth. We just can because it's within us, right?
Right.
And I would love for you to share how people can learn more from you. I know we talked about a free gift where they can start to follow you and develop more of these teachings and integrations of them. Is there a way you'd like to share, like right now, of how they can start to? And I would love to even hear like a brief exercise to help people clear that out, even in just
Mm,
5 minutes.
right.
But first, where can they find you, Lisa? And because this is just a part of what Lisa does, the tip of the iceberg. So I would just love to like provide that path where they can.
Absolutely. So I did a really lovely, I just channel these guided visualizations. And so I did one about really crossing over this bridge. I feel, and I've kind of been watching this, it almost seems like there's been kind of some strings of bridges over the last few years. Well, actually, since probably 2012, but so not over the last 10 years now. But we're really at this, to me, it feels almost like the big long bridge into the fifth dimension. And some of us are still just getting out of the third. Some of us are already in the fourth. Some of us are wanting that next step. And so this beautiful guided visualization that I channeled from the record keepers helps you to take some of those next steps and clear what no longer serves you. And so we'll have that link for you to download my free guided visualization over the bridge really into the fifth dimension. And so that will support you in that way. And then of course you will learn lots about me. You'll get connected up to my website and the classes I teach and a lot of the work I do and yeah, the different healing tools I share. So
I love it. And I know we talked about briefly because you have so much work to do on the back end. If somebody just happens to see this video and we don't have the link up yet, can they just go to your site to find you just to make sure that you want to just share that, sister?
absolutely. So it's akashicknowing.com. So you can find all about the Akashic records, the workshops I teach. It's AKASHIC and then knowing, KNOW, KNOWING. I forgot how to spell.
I'm so
Knowing,
glad.
Akashic, knowing.com.
Beautiful. I'm so glad you shared that. 'Cause sometimes I'm like, how do you spell Akashic? So
I
thank you
know.
for sharing that. That's so beautiful. Well, it sounds like by doing that meditation, they can actually learn how to clear out the energy because I think that's so
Yeah.
important. So, follow her on her site. We'll provide the link in the description if we're able to actually connect it to the video. But I do know the power of that because when you know you, everything works, right? Because you're having reflections of truth, right? And so if somebody else's voice is in your head or you're feeling corded, and the way you know you're corded, somebody's like pulling at you, kind of like you said, that's kind of like not your energy. It's like, whoo, release that out of my field. Let me feel who I am, right? And then attract from that light. I love what you said about letting go. I feel like that's
Yeah, and if you would like, I would love to do a quick, maybe we could do a little group clearing, group healing. I love doing group clearings and healings because
oh,
it's so profound, especially again, at this time in history. And I know this time in history is going to go on for quite a few years because it's all a process, right?
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
whole life thing.
yeah.
It's a journey, it's not a destination, is what the record keepers always tell me because I always want to be there
Yeah,
already.
I know. And then you realize you're there. You're like, I better enjoy it because I am here right now.
Right, that's right, exactly. So but let's open the group records. I'll bring everybody in. We'll create a beautiful Akashic column of light and we can do some group healing. So if you can close your eyes, please go ahead and do that and just Dropping down into your sacred heart center as we ask the divine lords of unconditional love to help us center fully in this moment as we create this sacred space. Please wrap us in your love and protection and allow us to travel to the highest levels of the Akasha available to us today. Please help us relay our multidimensional hearts open to divine love and release all resistance. Lords of the Akashic Record, please guide us to the deepest truth we can access now. Support us in healing and releasing that which no longer serves on our true path. We give great thanks for your divine love on this journey today. So just noticing whatever you're noticing. I see a beautiful silvery blue column of light all around the world as we embrace everyone, everywhere who wants to join us in this healing. And we ask our Akashic record keepers to help us to clear any cords or connections that are old and out of alignment with our highest steps on our soul path now, in this moment. So I just am seeing lots of old energy. Some of them look like big cords, some of them from family members, some of them from old relationships. Some of them go outside of time and space, actually even to past lives. So we want to clear, release, delete any soul contracts from past lives that are no longer pertinent or important for us in this lifetime now. Some of them actually have some old energy hooks, which we will remove, delete, and clear for everyone. Because those hooks can kind of just make it hard to move forward on our path. They can create those feelings of anxiety or pain or panic or fear. And we ask our record keepers to clear any vows of poverty, because of course we are creating this beautiful abundance that is here for us now. It is really even recently shifting to open to a bigger expanse. So any thoughts or beliefs or patterns that we've had from this life, any of those that kind of came down through our ancestral lineage, from our parents, from our teachers or friends and family, whoever it might be. Any of that old constricted belief that we don't deserve, or we're not good enough, or money's bad, any of that, we always love to dump that because that serves no one, right? So
Cancel, clear.
oh, clear, delete, 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 right?
Yeah.
And of course, those vows of poverty that we've taken so many times in so many lifetimes because we've been nuns or priests or some sort of monk or ascetic on a spiritual path for thousands and thousands of years and many, many, many lifetimes. So let's release any of that energy. And really, we send our friends, our family, our loved ones, we send them their energy back for the highest good of all concerned. We release their energy from our physical body, our energy field, our auric field, especially our telepathics and our brains and our heads, our whole head center. People are often trying to help us, support us, guide us, steer us, tell us what to do, all of that. We send it all back to them. And we fill ourselves with our highest Akashic wisdom, light, energy, and divine love. All in this moment now. as we bring ourselves out of the past, out of the future, right here, aligning to our soul wisdom and our own personal soul guidance to walk the highest and best path for us as we go forward, creating our new earth.
So beautiful.
Ooh, yeah, that feels really yummy and to me tingly, bubbly, and warm. It's almost like swimming in that amazing Caribbean water.
Totally. On the ocean of love, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
We thank the Akashic masters and beings of light for the guidance and the healing, and we close and lock our group records for now. And so it is. Blessed be.
Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for showing up and doing that, because it ripples out in such a gorgeous way as we do this together in a group.
Yeah. One of the gifts that I think is so beautiful that you have, Lisa, is just the prayer, like bringing in the masters and the way you connect. And I was telling Lisa earlier, like, I love following her on Instagram. Like, she has the most beautiful videos and just little positive messages. Sometimes they're prayers, sometimes they're just little reminders. And so I'm not sure what your Instagram name is, but if you want to share it, I just follow you just
Oh,
because obviously
I
Spirit sent
love it.
you for a reason. So if it's Akashic Knowing on Instagram, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Um, there you go. So she's on Instagram there, and it's
On
just
everything, it's Akashic Knowing. I have a YouTube channel with lots of videos also. So, and some of you and me.
yeah, I know. We've been longtime friends for a while. It's just my
Yeah.
whole being feels like this blue light, just peace and prosperity and love, because again, truth is truth. And so, having these little like tips each day connecting in with us, like, oh, look at what she's saying now. Like it just reminds us of that truth, right? So yeah, I see so much blue energy. Whew. Amazing. I'm hot, Lisa. Woo! Raising the roof, baby. Let's open that door. I love it. Like ready
I
to
love that too.
fly. Wow. So I actually love that visualization you said about the dome. And I'm just wondering if you'd be open to that little door, kind of referring to that as an intuition. So how do you, and I know I almost always ask you this question because I think it's so important for people to hear, how do you connect with your intuition? Because it then helps people remember how to connect to theirs. Because I feel like that little door in the dome is your intuition opens up, and then the dome is completely into infinity and beyond.
Yeah.
So if you want to speak a little bit to that, just the practical part of that, that would be awesome.
Absolutely. So one of the things I love to do is to connect the three brains, because we have this clairvoyance, clairaudience, all of that energy, our third eye, right, our pineal, all in our head. So when we connect that sixth chakra head center to our heart, and I use a gold infinity symbol to do that, the heart also holds our clear knowingness, our clear cognizance, and it's also very much the doorway to spirit and that energy of divine. And then I love to connect one more time into the third chakra, the solar plexus, because that's so much of that clairsentient, all of that feeling sense. And so they're all like three intuitive areas in our body. And so I like to hook them up with a gold infinity symbol, because gold is always the highest cosmic energy of everything.
Yeah.
So I run a gold infinity symbol from my head to my heart to my third chakra, get that all hooked up so they're talking to each other. And it really deepens your intuition, because you're consciously connecting these three brains that have so much information for you.
See, alignment. To me, it feels like alignment of all.
Right. Yeah.
So it's the infinity loop that goes from your crown down to your heart, and then the infinity loop from your heart to your third chakra, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I do sixth to fourth, fourth to third, and then you can do third to sixth again. So you're kind of multi-level layering
Okay.
your
So if she's saying third and fourth and seventh, she's talking about the chakras. So
right
I know if you go to my
from
site,
your head to
yeah,
your heart, to your
yeah.
heart, to your solar plexus, and then solar plexus kind of back up to
There
head.
you go. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. If you need a, I think diagram, I have it on Life Force Connection under classes and intuitive factor. You can see each of the chakras. And so you'll know exactly what she's talking about and why those energy centers need to be connected. But that infinity energy, wow, it's so powerful. It's what you just said with the dome thing, right? But it's just literally bringing in, I almost want to say it's sacred geometry, but I might be making that up. It just feels like it is. It's just like,
Right.
ooh,
Yeah.
brings
Right. We're so connected then when we can use the gold infinity symbols. I actually use them for many things. They're very powerful and they connect us within ourselves. We can use a gold infinity symbol to connect heart to heart with someone else, because again, they're pure, really cosmic divine energy. And when you connect heart to heart, you're not courting somebody. You're not kind of grabbing hold of their energy. You are sending them divine love. And that divine love is flowing back and forth between you two. And so it's this beautiful energy of pure love.
Yeah. I love that. It's so great. Wow, I'm almost like speechless. I just feel the energy. I invite everybody to just feel the energy for a moment
Mhm. Mhm.
and feel that presence and the power of you in sacred presence, sacred connection of your intuition. And knowing that that intuition will naturally guide you to increase your income when you come from this place of connection, of service, of love. And that's why we're here today. One of the reasons we're here today, to inspire that within you. And Lisa, I know you have so many examples of this, but I'm wondering if you can share at least one example of when you followed your intuition to greater income. Whatever that intuitive guidance was that then maybe created a course that had 100 people follow you again, whatever it was.
Oh my, let's see.
Right? I know this is one of a million. I know.
Let me just say, truly to me, it really is the way that I create my business and follow my life. And sometimes the really fun things are when I get guidance to travel.
Yeah.
And to go someplace and to be in the energy of a sacred site. Like I'm going to Scotland to do that. And a couple of years ago, it was Egypt and Bosnian pyramids. And I did a whole pyramid track, and that energy all comes in, it up levels your whole energy field, it opens your intuition, and then the guidance is so beautiful and profound. And so honestly, I just say really follow your heart,
Yeah.
and it will guide you.
Yeah. I don't know if you realize what you just said, but you said, as I follow my life. And like, how beautiful is that? Like, it's like you're witnessing your life and you're following your own life because you're so connected. And you're like, I wonder where it's going now. Like, that's such a beautiful thing to be the witness of your own life. I'm like, oh my God, she's so involved. It's great, So to kind of maybe witness, your life and follow the flow. Follow that, like you said, your heart, follow that energy, that frequency of love.
And because it's not always obvious before.
Yeah.
Right. So I had this phenomenal experience where the record keepers told me it was time to go to Egypt. And that was September of 2020.
Yeah.
And this was literally COVID hit in March of 2020. And by September, we thought it was kind of ending, but no one was traveling and no one was really going anywhere. But Egypt opened up and I went on a trip, and we were the first tour back into Egypt in 5 or 6 months.
Wow.
And so the sacred sites were quiet and calm. There was no one else there. We could sit and meditate seriously for hours because there were no other tours. And it was phenomenal. And then I came back, and not very much later, I got, go to Mexico. And I my husband and I love the Yucatan. We decided to go back to the Yucatan. And I said to him, you want to go to Chichen Itza? I don't think you've ever been there. And I haven't been there in over 30 years. And he said, yeah, great, let's go. And so all of a sudden I realized, oh, I'm at another ancient pyramid. And I was like, ooh, this is kind of fun and cool. And then as we're kind of going along, I love to travel. And I was called to go to Croatia and to Bosnia. I really want to go to the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, which very few people even know about. And the trip just all fell together. My husband and I went off, and within 9 months, I had been to Egypt, Chichen Itza, and the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. And I thought, oh, isn't that interesting that my life brought me to all of these pyramids? And of course, I asked the Akashic record keepers, like, what's up? What am I doing? What's happening here?
Yeah.
And they're like, you're moving pyramid codes around the world. And I was like, how cool, and I was conscious of it on one level, even from Egypt. And then, oh, Chichen Itza, yes. Oh, there's something from Egypt. I moved to the Yucatan, and then on to Bosnia. And a lot of the energies of the planet are realigning to raise the vibration as we're shifting into this fifth dimension. And so I could look back in a sense and say, oh, I got to be part of moving some pyramid codes around. How exciting, how lovely, how joyful. And so sometimes we look back and realize what we've been creating by listening
Yes.
to our guidance.
Yeah. To me, it's like integration. As you were talking, I saw your body integrate that frequency, right? And raise itself to a higher frequency. And then I got this flashback of one time we taught a retreat in Thailand. And one of the students, she waited at the bottom. It was the Tiger Cave Temple, and you'd like climb, I think, like 1,000 and something steps. And her husband and I actually did it. She didn't want to, so she sat at the bottom, and there was a temple of Kuan Yin. And she just sat there, and that, just like you, gave her this frequency, this download of like, and my point in telling you this is your life will bring you what you need. So she's sitting in front of Kuan Yin, gets this download, comes back. She gets this huge job promotion. Next thing I know, she's like buying a new house, and her life completely takes off. My point is, your life is giving you what you need. And when you open to following your intuition, you're going to then integrate what it is that you need to become who you're meant to be, and then serve. So as you listen, ooh, I feel guided to go here. Don't know why, but I'm going to trust it. And even where I live now, it's like, oh, I know why. And then it comes to you, right? Like my partner literally came to my doorstep. Like it just, you don't try. And the moment you're trying, you're like, what's out of alignment? How can I surrender and soften into the ocean of life? How can I say yes to actually why I'm already here? I actually do believe that we know at some level why we're here, at least.
Yes.
Like we don't know maybe exactly every detail, but we know enough to know when it feels good, it's meant to be. And our part of our soul already knows. Like I really believe we have a purpose of why we're here, truly. So I love listening to how you follow that and inspiring people to drop the fear, because the soul is so much more powerful than fear. And that love inside of your heart is actually the gateway to your intuition. It's the first step to then opening, walking through that little door, like Lisa was talking about. And then for me, it's dropping into that gut knowing. She was talking about third chakra. I actually even go deeper into your second chakra, where it's this instinctual knowing where you're like, oh yeah, that's true. And then it emerges up from you and through you. And it's unstoppable. Like people feel it and you're being moved. So just let yourself listen, to those nudges of your intuition, open your heart, follow Lisa, follow me, listen to the people who have walked, maybe a couple steps ahead, being like, hey, it's safe. We've gone a couple steps and we're like saying, hey, come this way, because I promise it feels really good. Because that's what we want for you, right? Like somebody was
Yes.
saying the other day, like, oh, they just did what felt good. I'm like, well, that sounds really good. And they're like, oh, they're actually doing some kind of drugs. I'm like, well, those people were, but they were talking about something that was. And I was like, well, make sure that you're like first tuned in to truth, right? Because you don't need to really reach outside of yourself. You need to go within. And when it feels good from that pure place within you, then you know it's the right step. So
Yes.
trust
Yes.
that wisdom. Man, Lisa, I could talk to
Beautiful.
you forever, but I know we have, a certain amount of time. Is there anything else that you want to share with the group today? And just thank you again
I'm going to
for
let the dog out.
let the dogs out. They need some freedom. I love that. Isn't it the most
I
beautiful?
love it. Yeah, I know. My little 15-year-old pup, she's she's my son's out, in the yard, and she's like, "I want to go play."
Oh,
She's
how cute.
15, blind. She'll go run around the yard. It's so cute.
Aw,
Anyway,
she feels it.
um,
She's feeling with her heart. She's like, I can just feel where to go next.
it's amazing. It really is. It's a little, yeah, it's like, wow, that's amazing. Just totally. It's
Yeah,
true. Just totally
totally.
knowing.
Yeah,
Um,
100%. 100%. Yeah.
oh, she's a perfect example. It's just really so much about our intuition, our guidance. Of course, for me, I have long, deep conversations with the Akashic record keepers, and they help to guide me. And so much of that information comes from them. But I I know that it's important for us to not know everything. They want us,
Mm,
we as a soul came here so that we would have amnesia, so we could have these magical moments of remembering, of seeing those phenomenal alignments. It was
mm.
really very magical and mystical when at the end of that 9 months I was like, whoa, that's so cool, I moved all those codes around. It might not have been as much fun if I knew beforehand I was doing this work, right? That would be like some work I had to do. No, this was so joyful and just fun
Yeah,
to follow all of the wisdom and the guidance. And yep, I know there's something going on here, and I know it's bigger.
yeah.
And I think the other lovely thing that you were talking about, often, my experience is I know I'm there to pick up some new codes, give you some old ones that I'm carrying around to activate some of these ley lines or grids, but I don't have to do it like work. I can just be
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
be there
Yeah.
and receive it. Like your um, person, she didn't have to climb 1,000
Mhm.
stairs
Right.
to get the download.
Right. She did it perfectly for her. And that's one of the things about intuition. What feels right for you is right. And it might be different than somebody else, but to respect and honor that. And I was just, as you've just been on this show this morning, just feeling your presence and being like, man, we're so connected at the energetic level. Like it was the perfect time for me to have this conversation with you. And so I was just feeling so much gratitude of our soul's alignment that we didn't try to think it. We weren't like, oh, hey, Lisa, I'll be feeling this way at this time. And I'm really going to need your message on June 7th at whatever. And it's like, no, actually, like it's the perfect time because on some higher energetic level, which is what our intuition is tuning into first, by the way, we follow that. Then the physical manifests. Then her job promotion came. Then the house came, right? But it was the energy download first, just like Lisa, right? So that's why we're like, hey, wherever you're feeling guided to go in energy first, trust it because there's a gift on the other side of that, a physical manifestation that will serve you. So trust your intuition. Yeah.
Perfectly said, really. I
Right?
think that is like, to me, the big point as we're going forward, creating the new earth, is trust and surrender,
Yeah.
right?
I love
Because
that.
we can't make it happen. We
Yeah.
can't figure it out. It's not possible. We
Yeah.
don't know how to do this. We
Yeah.
can trust and we will be guided.
I love it. Wow.
Yeah.
So well said. Well, you can follow us at lifeforceconnection.com on Instagram, also our website. We're going to wrap for the day on that note because it's so clear and beautiful. And please follow Lisa on akashicknowing.com on Instagram and also her website. We are so happy to be just here with you now and forever, right? Our hearts are with you. We just send you so much blessings and love. I know I can speak that for Lisa because I know
Mhm.
her, and that's just who she is. It just gives me chills. So
Mhm.
thank you from the bottom of my heart and soul, Lisa. You're just such a bright light on this planet, and we're so lucky to have you here. So. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk soon.